gang, it's Stella. As you've noticed, this is not your regularly scheduled programming. Don't worry, Extract Season 2 still comes out this week. It does drop on Friday, but we wanted to drop a little something extra into the feed as a celebration. Also, we wanted to make the announcement that we have restructured our Patreon. We've gotten rid of the tiers, so all of our subscribers get access to everything we post. You can subscribe for as little as $1. You can give more if you want, and we are super thankful if you can and are willing, but even for $1, you get access to our entire backlog and all of our new stuff. This includes outtakes, notes, every mania ever, access to our new Discord, which has been really fun. Shout out to the patrons who are already on there. I'm learning. It's fun. And you get extra podcasts like this. Unofficial Channels, a real podcast that maybe you've heard us joke about, but it's not a joke. It is a real Mitch Pileggi Stancast. It is our favorite podcast to do. Sure, Extracts is really fun. Not Your Demographic, a blast, but Unofficial Channels, it's our favorite. So, in the spirit of the Patreon, in the spirit of Extracts Season 2, we wanted to release Unofficial Channels Episode 1 to the mass public. Because we are a menace, and we just want everybody to love Daddy Pileggi like we do. So enjoy Episode 1, in which I, Stella Cheeks, make Aaron Klein and Bobby Hoffman watch Supernatural without any context. We hope you enjoy. We hope to see you on the Patreon and the Discord. And if not, don't worry, Extracts, again, coming Friday. Thanks for all your support. Praise be the pledge.
Welcome to Unofficial Channels, a Patreon-exclusive Mitch Pileggi fan cast from your friends at NYD Production. During this podcast, we are going to look at a cross-section of nerd culture, specifically through the career and works of one Mitch Pileggi. Today, we are watching In the Beginning, and an episode from the series Supernatural. Season 4. And
Off
here we go.
Here we go.
Buckle up, Buttercup. As you know from listening to this podcast, I have become obsessed with Mitch Pileggi.
I just had a weird thought of
What?
what if there are people out there who just listen to Not Your Demographic and not Extracts?
Well, they
Well,
know
then
about
they
Mitch
probably-
Pileggi.
Oh no, I was just saying they might not know about me.
I do know about you. 'Cause you've been on Not Your Demographic.
That's true.
before.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. Okay.
So I am slowly working my way through Mitch Pileggi's entire career. Because I'm deeply obsessed with this man. And so I've been wanting to watch Supernatural for a while because I am a masochist, I guess. And then I learned that
Stell got her.
Mitch Pileggi is on Supernatural, so I was like, well, that's another reason. And also Supernatural wrapped up this year, so I can feel like I can actually just watch it all. And also the fandom is very
I was going to say,
interesting.
also in your fandom study, everything that happened throughout Supernatural, not even counting all the fucking Destiel drama that happened with the finale and shit like that.
I was just gonna say, there's
yeah.
so much
Required
fan
reading.
fiction
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I'm just super into the idea of Supernatural fandom, even though I'm still not I'm 5 seasons in and I couldn't give two shits about reading any of the fanfic or anything. I just think it's an interesting thing and I want it on my nerd Girl Scout badge. I want my Supernatural badge, and also I need my Mitch Pileggi badge.
Halfway through the show, what does Supernatural Scout badge look like?
Well, it's a third of the way through. The
Oh
show.
shit, that's right. Sorry.
What does the Supernatural Scout badge look like? I don't know. There's a lot of imagery that is used, like the black eyes for the demons or the yellow eyes for the yellow-eyed demon, which we'll get to. Oh, it's just a can of fucking salt and a lighter. That's what it is. five episodes and it's just a can of salt and a lighter, and it's I don't know, salt and burn the bones. That's mostly what seasons 1 through 3 are.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so far that's what it is. Mitch Pileggi plays Sam, who is... Okay, let me just reorient.
So what we're doing here is Stella's trying to recap this episode for Aaron and I before we watch it to kind of give us context for the show. However, she didn't research it or write it. She's doing this extemporaneously. Yeah.
A lot. Oh, I watched the first 4 seasons over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So the things that you need to know. Mitch Pileggi comes back in season 6, and that's when his big arc is. I haven't gotten there. I'm in season 5. He has one standalone episode in season 4, and here are the things you need to know before we watch that episode. I'm going to recap it blindly. We're going to watch it, and then we'll come back. Supernatural, the beginning, the first episode. There are two brothers. One is named Sam Winchester and one is named Dean Winchester. And their dad is named John. And they hunt and fight demons. The reason, or ghosts and paranormal bullshit. They're hunters. That's what they're called. The reason they do that is because when Sam, little baby Sam, was 6 months old, his mom was killed in a horrifying way in his nursery where she was thrown onto the ceiling and gutted and set on fire.
Cool.
It's really, really an intense visual. And the person that did that, or the entity that did that, is known as the Yellow-Eyed Demon. And he is the big bad for the first 2 seasons. And that is the thing that really gets the Winchester family on the roll of becoming hunters. That is the big mythos. That's like the beginning of it all.
I have a clarifying question.
Yes.
So the brothers and the dad all hunt together? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't realize the dad was part of it. I thought he was
the dad
just
is played by the guy that played the comedian in Watchmen and was also the guy with a baseball bat in The Walking Dead.
Oh, fuck.
He's super banging hot.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, the dad's played by him, super banging hot. My biggest takeaway is that the dad and the grandpa are much hotter than Dean and Sam, but like that's pretty on brand for me. Anyways, so yeah, John sees his wife die, pulls the kids out, and then goes on like a lifelong mission to avenge his wife's death and teaches the kids how to hunt.
Okay.
So they grow up hunting.
Got it. Okay.
Sam is like, he gets of age and is like, no, I don't want to be a hunter. I'm going to go fuck off to college, whatever. His girlfriend dies in the same horrifying way.
Of course she does.
And so then he's like, well, I guess I got to be a hunter. And his dad gets kidnapped, whatever. We learn that the Yellow-Eyed Demon has... the reason that he was in Sam's nursery is that he was feeding baby Sam his blood, his demon blood, to turn him into like a half demon, half human hybrid so that he could release the gates of hell and potentially release Lucifer from his cage, because only like a hybrid could do that. Okay, so in season 1 and 2, it's all of that. We're hunting the Yellow-Eyed Demon. We don't know where dad is. We got to avenge our mom. We got to avenge Jessica, whatever. We release the gates of hell on accident, but we do get our revenge, and we kill the Yellow-Eyed Demon. Azazel, he's gone, whatever. But he was the big, big bad. Season 3 happens, and whatever. Season 3 happens. It's the writer's strike. It's kind of a mess.
Oh, writer's strike. Okay.
Yeah.
Season 3 ends with Dean getting sucked into hell because he made a deal to make sure that Sam would stay alive. He made a deal with a crossroads demon, so now he has to go into hell.
When you say sucked into hell.
No, he gets eaten by hellhounds, regular. He doesn't get, like, fun sexed into hell.
Wait, he gets eaten by, like, alive?
By hellhounds.
Right, but, like, eaten alive by dogs?
Well, they're invisible. Only he can see them because he made the deal with the devil.
So,
With
wait
a crossroads demon, not the devil. The devil is in a cage right now. I'm not doing a good job.
Is anyone in the room with him while this happens?
Yeah, Sam watches him get eaten by invisible dogs, and he can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So while Dean...
So then after... I'm sorry. Then after that, like, he's still like a corpse in this world and gets fucking buried?
Yes, and they don't salt and burn his bones, which normally you do with a hunter, because Sam is like, I'm going to fix this somehow. I'm going to bring Dean back.
Okay.
That is actually really important, because when Dean wakes up, he's like, why didn't you salt and burn my bones? That's like the first thing he says. Season 4 opens with Dean punching his way out of a casket and into a deserted... it looks like a nuclear bomb has gone off in this town. It's deserted, dusty, whatever. All the plants are dead, which is a sign of like some kind of like fuckery with demons and stuff. So Dean is walking around and is like, how the fuck did I survive? I was definitely being tortured / torturing people in hell. What's going on? We come to find out that while Dean was in hell, Sam was like, I'm going to drink a lot of demon blood because that's how I'm going to like get the powers to kill Lilith, make sure Lucifer stays in jail, and bring my brother back. So that's very complicated because Dean is back from hell and is like, I'm sorry, you're drinking. What? No!
Just chugging it. Just chugging that demon syrup.
Just drinking that demon syrup. Bobby, who is their like pseudo dad, their like a hunter that they work with who is not their dad, but is better than their dad. And if and when he dies, I will burn a whole village down because he's the only competent character in this fucking show.
So he's the Skinner.
No, because I don't want to fuck him.
Okay.
Hard line. Hard line.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck him. There are weird stuff happening, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to our medium friend, and we're gonna see what's going on. We're hearing this weird. You woke up from the hell, and you're not a demon, whatever. So they use this medium.
The hell.
The hell.
You know, the hell.
The hell.
Through this medium, they contact somebody who is like, no, stop looking for me. And the medium's like, no, I'm going to keep looking for them. And then her eyes get burned out of her skull because she looks at an angel. Lo and behold, here is Castiel, the angel that is going to be around and going to become gay and then get sucked into hell at the end of the series.
Mediums
also, he has very chapped lips, and it is not good. That is a different rant. Whatever.
Mediums are colonizers of the spirit world. Anyway.
Well, she gets her whole eyeballs like burned out and then gets murdered several episodes later. So she gets hers, I guess. So now angels are introduced and we're like, oh, angels, they're supposed to be good. We have faith. Oh, wait, angels are dicks?
Love it.
Are we supposed to be, whose side are we on? Oh, we're on our own side. But these angels keep interfering with us. We don't know what to do. So Dean is in this place where he's trying to protect Sam. He got ripped out of hell, and he's having a lot of feelings about that. He doesn't know what to do with his demon blood-drinking brother. He's getting annoyed all the time with this chap-lipped angel, and he's just had enough. And then this chap-lipped angel comes... Oh, God, I don't have to hold in my laughter. I'm not producing this. You don't even have to edit it. You can just have it be a mess. This fucking chap-lipped angel shows up out of nowhere, and fucking... This is the beginning of our episode. This is what I'm setting you into.
Okay.
He time eats Dean into the past and puts it where on the day where Dean's dad, John, is going to propose to his mom. So his mom and his dad are now like kids, and Dean is just there and is like, what the fuck? And Chaplip Angel is like, you're going to learn some stuff that's going to be important. I'm an angel.
You're going to watch your parents fuck.
I'm an angel. Only angels can bend time or whatever. Just learn some stuff. I'll be back. Goodbye. And just leaves Dean in the town. And that's what we're going to watch.
In the past.
In the past.
So we're starting off in the past.
We're starting off in the past. So
okay.
The things that you need to know. The yellow-eyed demon.
Mm-hmm.
So most demons, when they show you that they're a demon, when they're possessing a body, their eyes go black.
Okay.
Their eyes either go black, which means that they're just a regular old demon, or their eyes go white, which means that they're like a high-up demon, like Lilith or the Dean's torturer, or their eyes go yellow, and that is Big Bad Azazel, the one that we killed in season 2, but the one that also killed our mom.
Okay.
That is really important.
Okay.
Dean is the only one that's really trying to get shit done because Sam is off drinking demon blood.
Like it's Miller High Life,
like
yes.
It's Miller High Life. Who knows what the fuck Bobby's doing right now? And
really.
And Dean is being like antagonized by all of these asshole angels, and he's just been dropped into the past where he just needs to figure it out. So Dean's emotional whatever is all over the place.
Okay. Is his present day dad still...
Oh no, John dies.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan had to go and be famous.
Fair enough.
John, but how he dies, this is, well, I guess you don't actually need to know that, but John dies, you don't really need to know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. Dean gets, like, electrocuted trying to, like, fight a ghost or something. I don't know. I don't really remember. He gets electrocuted, and basically the doctors are like, yeah, he's fried. He's in a coma. We can't do anything for him. He's going to die. And his dad makes a deal with the yellow-eyed demon and says, take my soul for Dean. So the dad sells his soul to hell to save his son. So also Dean is dealing with a lot of guilt with that.
Right. Okay.
Which is part of the reason he sells his soul for Sam, because he's like, well, then maybe I won't feel as much guilt. Mm-hmm. But when they release the gates of hell and then finally kill the yellow-eyed demon, their dad escapes hell and is like, cool, bye! And then just like disappears into like the ether or whatever. So they do rescue their dad from hell. And then Dean gets thrown into hell. Oh, and also big important detail. Dean escapes hell because Castiel, the Chapel of Angel, pulls him out of hell.
Yes.
Okay.
He doesn't escape hell on his own. The demons don't know why he did it. The angel specifically pulled him out of hell as part of a great plan. So Dean is
we don't fuck him?
Well, eventually, I guess.
Okay.
But right
We
now,
get there
no.
where he tries to later.
Right
Yeah.
now, there is no real homoerotic tension. It's just loud chap lips and Dean being pissed.
Okay, got it.
Because Dean is part of like a master plan. So he's being told that he's like very, very important in the war by the Angels, and the Angels are being super dicks and are only showing up when they need help. His dad is dead. His mom is dead. His brother is drinking demon blood. He was tortured in hell. He was only in hell for 4 Earth months, but that is 40 years. So it felt like he was being tortured in hell for 40 years. He's got a lot of weird guilt going on.
Okay.
He's dealing with a lot, and this asshole angel just yeeted him into the past to deal with his parents.
Okay.
That's where we are.
It sounds kind of like heavy Mulder energy almost, where you're like, okay, here's this person who like kind of is good at what he does. He's had this like situation thrown at him. He's got a lot of complicated shit with his dad.
I guess if Mulder liked classic rock and had like only had a relationship with his brother in his car.
Well, also, I mean, to me, Fox Mulder energy is also you corroding your personal relationships around you because you're obsessed with this singular thing. And I don't know if that connects with Dean that much. Does
that
it?
Connects with both Winchesters. It's like
Okay.
a Winchester.
Right.
That connects with all the Winchesters, which is actually important. And all the Winchesters and whatever his mom's maiden name was. Their whole family is like destined to be this way. And this is kind of where we learn
So
that.
they're like Belmonts.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
cool.
So this is where Dean learns his past.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Aaron,
Yes.
before we wrap this up,
Yes.
give me a percentage of how much of that information you retained.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
I'd say like 75,
Okay.
80.
I was gonna say I'm at like 60, 75.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I...
Yeah.
Asshole angel. Dean's got a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Sam's drinking demon
Right.
blood. Yellow-eyed angel. Mom was murdered. Or yellow-eyed demon. Mom was murdered by the yellow-eyed demon. That's why John became a hunter.
Okay. Cool.
Let's do
it.
this.
I'm gonna stand over their crib and I'm gonna bleed into their mouth. Demon blood is better than Ovaltine, vitamins, minerals. It makes you big and strong.
Welcome to the future, where we have watched In the Beginning.
In the beginning.
What are your thoughts?
I really liked it. I thought it was a really good episode.
Yes.
I know nothing about Supernatural, so we had to stop like 4 different times to get explanations about what the fuck was going on lore-wise. But like, even not knowing and needing a lot of explanation, this was a really good episode.
It is one of those, like, watching Supernatural is a very uneven experience because there are episodes that are like, oh my God, this is so boring. This is so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Get it. Salt. Burn the bones. I got it. But then there are episodes that are super good, like, that are like shocking standouts. And this is just like an actual solid episode. It's very good. Mitch Pileggi or no, though. The Mitch Pileggi's shit
Okay,
is very
so
good.
the
He's
first
so
question,
good.
the first question I want to ask you, right? Apropos of nothing, you don't watch the X-Files. That doesn't happen in this timeline.
Come on, I still would have been like,
That's it. That's it.
real,
That's
yeah.
it. I wanted to put that. I want to put that out there.
Absolutely.
I want to put that up there, up and out there at first. Yeah, in my head, like my head, kind of now, like there's a timeline that exists where like you still graduate and you still end up with this time warp that you need to fill with content.
Yeah.
And so you deep dive into Supernatural, knowing nothing about X-Files, and you're like, oh, this demon daddy, where is he from?
This demon daddy.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
especially like I assume when I get to season 6, where because I am in season 5 now, we'll circle back. We'll do season 6. But yeah, I mean, he was so good in this episode that they were like, we gotta bring back Samuel.
Yeah.
Samuel
Sure, of
Fox.
course.
Samuel
yeah.
does fuck.
Well, and it's like, so this is why Stargate cast him in a bunch of things,
Oh,
and
well,
William
we'll
B.
get
Davies
there.
in a bunch of things as well. It brings in fans to a show, too.
Oh,
When you
absolutely.
cast an actor like that, who is so in the forefront of X-Files, you're just like, oh, did you hear? Like, I don't watch Supernatural. Did you hear Mitch Pileggi? Or like,
Sign me the
I
fuck
might
up.
I mean,
watch
literally, that's how I feel
Supernatural.
about it.
Right.
Like, I do love Mitch Pileggi a lot.
Right.
So wait, what year was this that this episode came out?
This would have been 2008 because season 3 is 2007 writer's strike.
Okay.
So season 4 is 2008.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense too. Like, Mitch
Yep.
Pileggi's been off the X-Files for a couple of years. People fucking loved him by the last couple seasons too. So it makes sense that they're like, he has a big name. Let's
And
pull some
also,
people
as
in.
we've talked about in X-Files, there's like a writing crossover between Supernatural.
There's a writing crossover, and there's also a directing and producing crossover. One of the big producers of Supernatural was Kim was one of the big super.
Oh, it's Kim Manners?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Oh yeah,
know that.
in the
Okay.
beginning, when Kim Manners passed away, they like dedicated like in the beginning of one of the Supernatural episodes, they were like, "This season is dedicated to Kim Manners."
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. She
Interesting.
was one of the main producers
Oh, I
on
didn't know that.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
So yeah, that all makes sense. that's good business, and it's great casting, and he did really, really great.
Yeah, I mean, the X-Files and Extracts are part of the reason I'm watching this is because, like, I've heard, like, producing and writing crossovers, also Mitch Pileggi, and also I have this, like, time warp. But yeah, like, my fandom from the X-Files, and because I'm not allowed to watch the X-Files, is like, I guess I'll just watch Supernatural for 15 years. But it is a really solid episode. Like, even if I hadn't given you my very convoluted, ridiculous, like, thing, it still would have been entertaining.
Yeah,
no,
totally.
It is still,
was, yeah.
like, very much a Back to the Future. I'm meeting my mommy and daddy, and now I have to fight a demon.
And like that opening scene is a really faithful recreation of that Back to the Future scene too. It was immediately apparent to me, like, this is what's happening. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. He's talking to his dad in a diner. Got it.
Also, the line where he's like trying to get cell phone reception, and it's 2008, so it is a flip phone still.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where can I get reception?" I don't know, the USS Enterprise.
Yeah. That was nice.
So good.
No, it was a good episode of television. I felt like there were a lot of things there in fantasy shows like this or sci-fi shows that would hook me in. I get a little bit of a taste of the big bad. I get a little bit of taste of the rules of the universe that we're dealing with, and also the importance that it's building towards something.
Right.
That would definitely be interested in seeing where all of this goes eventually.
I'm so curious about how Mitch Pileggi comes back. Like,
Me too.
how
I'll let you know when I find out.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Like, does he come back into the present day with Dean and
I do know that. Yeah, he comes back present day.
I'm assuming he
Or
gets,
they go back. They could go back in time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because they're them. I don't know. I don't think they go back in time. I think he probably gets yeeted out of hell or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. He must, because like Mitch Pileggi's not gonna get drastically older by the time they get him to season 6. So it's gotta be like, I've pulled you from the time you were dead into like the present day.
And I'm
really interested.
And by the end of season 4, Castiel, the angel, goes rogue and is like, "Yeah, I'm just friends with Dean and Sam now. I don't listen to the other angels." So like, potentially he does that. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not there yet.
Okay, so I that was the first full episode of Supernatural I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You're right. It seems like Dean's a great character. Definitely has some overt flaws.
Well, but that's the thing.
The homophobia and the misogyny is
like,
a little front.
Well,
but
Dean
yeah.
is like this like paragon of like toxic masculinity
right.
and homophobia and like, I drive a fast car, blah, blah, I want to listen to classic
This is what
music.
men do.
But as you watch the show, a thing that they actually do really well with Dean specifically, and because Jensen Ackles is actually a pretty good actor, is that you start to see that that's all a very intentionally crafted front,
right.
and that he is actually kind of like a scared soft marshmallow inside, especially in season 4 when he just got ripped out of hell and is like trying to come back and still be like big badass Dean, big brother who takes care of everything, and is like, I'm dealing with a lot of trauma because I was in hell. And a thing that we learn, and anybody who's gotten this far in the season would have learned, we learned that Dean was in hell for the equivalent of 40 years. And he was tortured for 30 of them. And every day he was tortured and his body was like dismembered. And the demon who was torturing him was like, this will stop if you if you torture other people. And he said no for 30 years. And the whole time
there
his
was
body...
5 lights,
Yeah, and then at year 30, he couldn't do anymore. He couldn't be disemboweled one more time. So for 10 years in hell, he became a torturer. Mm-hmm. And so now that he's back, Dean is dealing with that trauma of like, not only was I, tortured every day, but then I became the thing that I hunt. I became the monster. Right. And we also learn in supernatural lore that that's how demons are made. People go to hell and they are tortured until they become the monster. So like Dean was on his way to becoming
he does that long enough and he moves up the demonic corporate ladder
to
management. Gotcha.
So Dean is dealing with all of his trauma, but while trying to be big badass. And like Jensen Ackles plays that really well, where like you see like the scene with his mom when he's like, please don't go into the nursery. And he just has like one solitary manly tear.
Yeah.
Like,
a whole 180 from like, I'm going to tell Sam our mom's real bangable.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. And we talked about this, and I've talked about this before too in other like variations of certain podcasts. Like, Supernatural fandom is so interesting, but like Supernatural fandom in the first couple seasons started off with Wincest, where like they would write.
I was going to say, sometimes we say interesting and we mean toxic as fuck.
Right. But there were no other there were no other men on the show, and all the women would die every week, so nobody could form any attachments other than Dean and Sam, and so people would ship them together. And if you don't watch the show, you're like, well, that's wildly inappropriate and weird. And then even if you still think that's wildly inappropriate and weird, if you watch the show, you're like, oh, they weirdly make incest references all the time. Every time Dean and Sam check into a hotel, they're like, so you guys are together and you want one bed because you guys are gay together? And they're like, no, we're brothers. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, you're gay together. And it's like, okay, y'all, the writers, y'all made your bed.
Yeah.
Well, and there was also between Castiel and Dean, there's also like just little niblets of queer baiting there too. In the
well,
beginning
and
of the
that's like
episode.
apparently like barely anything. Apparently it gets way worse.
Right
now, again, I'm distracted by extreme chaplains. But yeah, there is a lot. I mean, we know that there's a lot of queer baiting, and there's a lot of TV shows with queer baiting, but like this was like
because it's marketing to television execs. It's not. Yeah.
Well, and especially after the first couple of seasons, they really tried to make the show like two tough guys hunting ghosts and badass, and then they realized that their fan base was a CW fan base and women who and they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll just fan service the shit up.
So is Sam just a dopey piece of shit that has precognitive powers then?
Sam is a whiny little bitch.
Okay, cool.
I gotta tell you, I don't
'cause
give
I didn't-
a shit about Sam.
Right,
I've
exactly.
seen 4 seasons and I don't give a shit about Sam. I do not understand Sam girls.
Yeah, like I watched this episode that only has Dean in it, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I would watch this show. And I feel like the second I see Sam, I'd be like, the reason I never watched this show is because your face is punchable as fuck.
Sam is a whiny bitch.
You guys both said at one
Sam
point.
is a whiny bitch that winds his way into accidentally releasing the devil.
I'm glad the lead singer of Hanson continued to have a career in television.
Hey, the Hanson brothers continued to make music till today, and it's fucking good, okay? I will not even pretend like it's not. It's very good.
What were you gonna say when I
was gonna say that you guys both said offhandedly said when we were watching it that Sam serves as like the pretty boy function, which I do not understand because I don't.
Neither. I don't think Jared Padalecki's cute at all.
I don't get it. He has such a 2004 face. I just can't.
This is that era.
Yeah, but it keeps going for 15 seasons, well into
change.
2020, and like your face still looks very 2004, and I will never release you from that
some
era.
people like the soft boy, and I guess we could call Dean the bad boy. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Dean is the secret.
He's so pretty.
Honestly, it's like people.
That one scene where like he turned and only like that one half of his face was lit up and that glimmer in his eyes, I was like, oh,
he's hot. Yeah,
he's attractive.
He's attractive, for sure.
Okay, all right.
Again, I think their dad and grandpa are hotter, but Dean is my preference if I'm going to choose from the brothers.
So it's diminishing genetic returns as you go through the family. You go from Mitch Pileggi to Jeffrey Dean Morgan to Jensen Ackles, and then fucking Padalecki's just this goober.
Nope, get out of here. But like they're presented as Sam is the like soft, like, whiny one and is like, oh, we got to protect Sam. He's the baby. And Dean is presented as like the tough bad boy, blah, blah, blah. But really it's the reverse. Like Dean is actually the soft marshmallow with all the feelings. And Sam is the one that makes really, really selfish choices and is a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing Sam for all of 4 seconds.
He leaves his brother to go suck on some demon blood.
Well, and then Castiel says when he's in the car, Sam's not looking for you.
Exactly.
He's not worried where you are right now. Well,
he does not care.
threw you into the past. Yeah.
Yeah. Where I just angel flicked your brain into the past.
That was a time boop. That really was.
Well, that's the thing that Castiel does where he'll like put 2 fingers in somebody's head and they'll just like fall asleep.
That's
that
also
was him
very
just being
biblical.
Like,
yeah.
Biblical bullshit. Boop. What is it? God's my co-pilot.
Jesus.
Gross. I hate it.
So other than Dean and Sam and all the like supernatural stuff, like I feel come on, we gotta talk about Mitch Pileggi. He's so good.
Oh yeah, no, let's
so
lean into
good
it.
in
Let's
this.
lean into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have like 2 things to talk about. We have to talk about Mitch Pileggi as Samuel the Hunter, but then also Mitch Pileggi playing the Yellow-Eyed Demon.
What a fucking shift! Like,
Good, it's so
fucking
good.
great acting from Mitch Pileggi to go from this like very like even as this like hard tough grandpa dude, like is
Hunter.
he's believable in a way that's not like, oh, you're just being a dick to be a dick.
Well, and that's like a hunter thing too. A lot of
Right.
hunters are like, I hunt alone. I don't hunt with other people.
I mean, that's a
can't trust
demon
other
hunter
people."
trope pretty much
or
everywhere.
like a
They're-
bounty hunter trope.
They're
like, I
usually
do it
loners.
alone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was interesting to see him inside of this like family. I mean, I know nothing about any of these characters, but like,
But we don't as Supernatural fans watching this know anything about anybody except for Dean and like John and Mary, kind of.
right. And so it was like interesting to see this family that they come from, even though knowing that it's not the way that you think that it's how they became hunters, and like the lineage is not how you think it is. So it's interesting to see Mitch Pileggi play this character super, super well. And then this like sashing, hip swaying, I got my shoulders working demon, like the accent is
and then
different.
like so many like pursed kissy lips, like just like
these like crinkled eyes and like.
But you
look
know
at my
what, though?
bedroom
he like
look.
leans over to Dean and is very like
It's so clear he's a different person.
absolutely.
But it wasn't over the top.
No, not at
You
all.
could very, very easily go huge with something like that and be too flamboyant or too theatrical. I say this waving my hand through the air. But he didn't. It was still measured, and it was still intense and evil.
Well, and the thing too, like that reads for you two who have never watched the show, but that also reads as somebody who has seen the yellow-eyed demon before, because the yellow-eyed demon. I feel like when we say the word flamboyant, it is couched in like we always think of flamboyant as like gay now.
Yeah,
but
this
that's
didn't
not what I
read
meant at
gay.
all. Yeah.
No, I know, but I just mean in general. So
Yeah.
a caveat there. Like the yellow-eyed demon is flamboyant in his like he fucking loves being a demon.
Yes.
He loves monologuing.
Yep.
He loves walking around. And the yellow-eyed demon that we know from season 1 and 2 is very much like that. And so to watch Mitch Pileggi like essentially do a character study of the actor who is actually quite famous, I can't remember his name right now, who plays the yellow-eyed demon overall, was great. Like that's just a testament to how like good Mitch Pileggi is as an actor.
Yeah,
That physical change was so good.
yeah.
And
like,
then
the,
like
line
he
delivery,
gets
like, will you bring back my dad? Nope.
Yes, it was so good. I love that his cadence and the affectation in the way that he spoke also changed with the yellow-eyed demon too. It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
it felt very, in a weird way, and I won't say this, maybe this is my literary and sci-fi background, it felt very Stephen King to me, especially with the incest and the weird sexual wielding of power.
Well,
right?
yeah, because we see Azazel in Samuel's body be like, I'm not going to fuck your mom, but boy, would I like to. And it's like, oh, but that's her dad. And then the L.I. demon seals his deal with a kiss, like a Crossroads demon, which he doesn't have to do. A Crossroads demon has to seal their deal with a kiss. He doesn't, but he's like, oh, I want to kiss this girl. So she has to like kiss her dead dad, to bring her fiance back to life.
And not because
in front of her son.
Not because this demon has any kind of real attraction to her. It's
a
all
power
manipulation.
play. It's
It's all power play. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what evoked the Stephen Kingness in me of the demon stuff like that.
I thought that Mitch Pileggi did such a good job, sort of like circle back to what we were talking about with the flamboyancy. I thought the same thing. Flamboyant was the word that came to mind for me, but it doesn't read gay at all.
100%.
Like,
And the yellow-eyed demon writ large is like that, is very flamboyant, but is not queer-coded in a way that a ton of other shit is queer-coded.
Right. It feels like... Okay.
Also a ton of other media having to do with angels.
What else are they going to do?
Just dramatically stared at
in
Stella's
heaven.
fan art wall of good omens. Yeah, the demon reads to me like, oh, this dude could absolutely drop in on like a French court and people would accept him as like, this is the kind of flamboyancy that like a high titled male would have. And like, it feels natural in that way.
It's the type of personality and person that could exist throughout the ages and still work in whatever society that they need to be charismatic enough to steal your soul right from your body.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would not describe this person as charismatic, but it kind of reminded me of Lindsey Graham a little bit. That like side, like swishy, I'm Southern.
So he's definitely probably gay.
No, he's for sure gay, 100%. But that's what I mean of that, like, he can get away with that in like the culture that he lives with inside the South because it doesn't necessarily read gay to everyone.
Sure.
They kind of read it as like, oh, you're just a little swishy, but
And they are in Lawrence, Kansas.
yeah, like,
And also both of them are super fucking evil. So this works.
Exactly.
I'm on board with this metaphor now.
Yeah, exactly. It's I just thought Mitch Pileggi did such a good job with this. I'm so happy that we watched this.
Me
Yeah,
too.
this is
I'm
great.
really glad.
I'm really
Yay.
excited for this series now, not only to see Supernatural, but like as you go and work through this, a character like this who got famous in a show like X-Files, it's a really fun cross-section of fandom and
Yeah.
of sci-fi and of careers like that. You get the context of knowing Mitch Pileggi and the guy is, and then putting him in these different universes that I don't fucking know anything about.
I find it also like knowing that Mitch Pileggi loves to go to conventions and participate in like the greater
I'm gonna
culture.
fangirl over that man one day.
Oh fuck, absolutely. 100%. We're waiting in line. We're doing all that shit.
Wearing our like Obama style like Mitch Pileggi daddy shirts.
Absolutely. We are ready to roll up. Let's do it. Hey, Mitch Pileggi, you didn't have enough fan merch on the internet, and we will
We
single-handedly
made
create
a lot of it.
We are fucking ready, bro.
In my head, you walk into an elevator at a convention and you turn and you see him.
I mean, that
Pass out.
has happened to me before, getting stuck in an elevator with people that I am huge fans of.
Yep, that happened to me at your wedding night.
Who'd you get stuck in an
yeah.
elevator with?
Most deaf.
Oh, that's hilarious. I got stuck in the elevator with Chancellor Goron and General Martok in full Klingon
Oh my
gear
fucking
while I was
God.
in my pajamas.
Oh my god.
So, and then we just all stood there, and then I got on the elevator at the bottom, and I was like, big fan.
Kapla!
Because both of those actors like
Yeah.
dress up in
Yeah.
full Klingon gear
Yeah.
a lot. And I was at Dragon Con, and my dumb boyfriend at the time had like a signing with Stan Lee, and he had a hangover, and I was like, oh, stop bitching. I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna get some aspirin, whatever. So it was really early in the morning, so I was literally just in my pajamas in Atlanta at Dragon Con, and I get in the elevator, and then these two fucking guys get in the elevator, and like, you know when it's Goron and Martag, like they have
Yes.
very distinct faces,
Especially
if they're
Gowron.
in, especially Gowron, but especially if they're in Klingon gear, and they literally, it was just like them, like, and then me in the middle in my like hot pink Jimmy Jams.
If you ever see
And
a
nobody
Klingon,
else gets on the elevator
my
because it's
God.
like 7 fucking a.m. and we're all just standing there awkwardly. And then we get to the bottom and then it opens and then just quickly, big fans.
if you ever see memes or clips of a Klingon with like big bugging eyes, that's Gowron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Anyways, Mitch
if I
Pileggi.
got stuck in
Anyway.
an elevator with Mitch Pileggi, I'd be like, so you remember that time you were in that elevator with that guy and you gave him a
You were just
concussion and you pushed him
full
through a wall,
Chris
but
Farley
also it was really good and you were just bleeding from your face and it was pretty hot. I remember it. Goodbye.
You just Chris Farley
Big
the
fan.
whole way down
The
until
whole
you get
time.
to the end. The door's open and you go, big fan, and then just run.
Yeah, that's true. I probably would. I probably would just been like, just like silently breathing, doing all my exercises in my head, counting, and then just big fan and run out. And then, but then accidentally get distracted and run into a fucking wall, probably.
You think that the doors are opening, but they haven't because they're glass, and so you
God.
just hit the
And then
door.
I'll just turn around and be like, I have ADHD. Sometimes I run into walls.
He's like, it's so lovely to meet you.
I'll be like, oh, are you the girl that stalks me on the internet? 100% I am.
Super ass.
Listen, there are probably many people of various and non-existing
That's true.
genders that stalk this man on the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100
Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's what I was going to say about the conventions is I find it really interesting that he still goes and participates at such a high level with X-Files. And I know Supernatural is like a
And Stargate.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh, yeah.
really involved fandom too. So it makes me respect him even more that he goes to so many conventions knowing that like who fucking knows what kind of nerd is gonna walk up to this man and be like, you know what I really love doing? I thought it was great.
But,
We needed the thing.
Hi. I watched X-Files for the first time in 2020, and then I went back and decided to watch everything you've ever made. It is now 2022. It's been a wild couple years. How are you?
The entire span of your career has been my last 2 years. I've boiled you down to your sweaty, gruff essence and swallowed the glass whole. Will you sign this 8x10 of you
Your own
in
face.
your most obscure role?
You're like weird, like one line in Basic
Yes.
Instinct.
Oh my God, Okay, so I was going to talk about this. We just watched Basic Instinct. Kim watched Basic Instinct.
He's in it.
Earlier this week. He's in Basic
did
Instinct.
not know that.
He's one of the cops, and he's in like a scuffle between the main character in Basic Instinct and his police captain, and he kind of like breaks up the fight, and he has one line, and it's very clearly Mitch Pileggi. He looks exactly like he looks on the X-Files.
I love it.
Well, we have to talk about Mitch Pileggi in a priest outfit. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, so
Scratch it off your bingo card.
yeah. If you have a religious kink, and again, I don't judge you, and like that one, I kind of get. Yeah, go ahead, knock that one off.
I'm not normally into the religious thing, but like that man looks like a good-looking priest. Like that's
I'd rather see him in an outfit and think of Soren.
fuck you, fuck you.
Oh my god.
Listen, if Soren looked like fucking Mitch Pileggi, I might believe that goddamn book was even remotely accurate.
Now I'm just gonna like think of that when I read the next 15 of them.
You know what? Okay.
Don't do that to Mitch Pileggi.
Don't do that to yourself.
That's true. He's the bad guy in this. I forget. Soren is the character from the book that we talked about many, many times, The Siren by Tiffany Reese. It's very bad.
I had several sad conversations separately with both of you about
And we've
this
talked
book.
about it on Now You're Talking About a lot. So
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. I got mad that book and the author existed when Aaron told me
I'm
about
looking
it.
at the angel right there.
I refuse to turn around and look at that book.
I'm usually very anti-book burning, but
I have a morbid curiosity.
Woof. Absolutely not. Why would you choose the book about the breathlessly boring child?
Because Griffin's in it.
I mean, okay.
I like Griffin. He was the one character I liked.
Let's just picture all of the characters in The Siren as Mitch Pileggi.
All of them, even what's her fuck, Nora.
Sitting all weird on the desk, doing the hip switch thing.
Now I just am imagining Mitch Pileggi sitting like a fucking bisexual in a chair.
oh well, no. In this episode,
That's
as
true.
the dad character,
He was all lean.
Oh, yeah,
he's sideways in the
hey.
chair with the arm on the back. Oh, I tracked that right away.
For real.
He's sideways in the chair, the arm up on
How
the
do you
back.
kill a vampire?
One hand on the table, like.
Pins Dean to the wall, leans over him, and they do that shot like down and over his ass when he's like cocked to the side. I was like, yep, this is working for me.
Well, there's a scene where like Mitch Pileggi has his hands in his like back pockets, both of them, and Bobby's like, even he can't resist grabbing his own ass.
He's walking backwards, leaving the house. I think to
Presumably, that's when.
go hunt the yellow-eyed demon.
No, I think that's when the demon got
Get
him.
him- oh.
Because
that would make
'cause the
sense that he
demon
would want to
leaves-
grab that ass.
Yeah,
then.
he's like, ooh,
the demon
okay.
leaves the doctor's body. And
flies up the
then
vent.
Mary storms outside and Dean follows. And so it's just Mary
It would
and
be
Dean
that
outside.
moment. It would be that moment.
And Samuel is left inside. And then Samuel walks outside and is like, hey, Dean, we got to talk. And there's no other point
You're
where
absolutely
he would
right.
be left alone. So I think like the demon just yeeted himself into the attic and then came back and was like, hey,
He was like,
Grandpa.
yeah, hey, what's up? I'm in the air filtration, and whoop, we're back. Okay.
Hey, future boy.
Those were a really nice vents in that house.
It was a nice house.
It was a
It
nice
was
house.
a nice house. Probably recently built for the timeline it was in as well.
1973, I think
Yeah.
is what it was.
So you do an episode in the 70s and you don't actually address any of the social issues that existed in the 70s.
Well,
It's actually
interesting.
it's really interesting to do that in a show like this.
Yeah.
Because especially most time travel trope things hit those really
Well,
hard.
but they don't
And
have time because they're like right away. We just got to
Exactly.
solve the demon, then we go. It is interesting because the yellow-eyed demon, Mitch Pileggi being possessed by the yellow-eyed demon, Dean is like, why? Why Sam? Why Mary? Well, he doesn't say Sam, but why Mary? And the demon goes on this rant about like breeding and creating my master race and eugenics and stuff.
He does actually say master race if
He
you
does,
didn't.
Yeah.
but he
Listen to the
he
episode.
doesn't mean it in the way that we mean it because his demon children are all different races and
Right.
sexes
Sure.
and whatever. He just means like I want strong kids who can withstand
Right.
my weird demon powers. So it is interesting him saying that phrase and him being super evil, obviously, but also like us knowing that like
Right.
he created an army like of all these different like races and backgrounds and genders and whatever. And it's just like, which one of you is the evilest?
The white guy.
It's me, Daddy, pick me.
Well, this show is pretty racist and it is the black guy.
Oh, great. Of course.
Because Sam gets killed and Dean sells his soul to bring Sam back and Sam kills everybody, then he releases the demons from the hell. It's fine. This show is wildly sexist, which I knew, but it's fun because it's also homophobic and racist.
Yeah.
Trifecta.
It really, it's bizarre. It feels like almost like a cultural artifact of the early 2000s in that way.
Yeah.
And
that
so
has
it's-
existed long after the early 2000s.
Well, it'll be interesting for me actually to like watch all 15 seasons and see like what changes. Like, does it make like concessions to like woke culture, or also like just like not being dicks all the time, and like the really really active fandom of talking about like the fridging of every woman. And I think the answer is mostly no, because I've read a bunch of other stuff, but like we'll see.
I've heard a lot of the fridging happens in reaction to the fandom directly as well.
Yeah, because the writers are dicks.
Yeah. Weird.
So
It's also like
the show becomes really really fan servicey, where they literally have a character who is great. Chuck is great, but he is a prophet, right? Because this is all like biblical, demonic, angel stuff. He's a prophet, and so he doesn't know it. He just thinks he's writing this like series. So he writes a book series called Supernatural, following Sam and Dean. But they're actually the cases, and so when Sam and Dean find them, they're like, "How does he know all of this stuff? Like, we never told anybody this stuff." Blah blah blah. And then they come to find out that he's like a prophet. But because this dude wrote this books, there is a fandom in the actual series where there are people writing Wincest. It is so fan servicey and gross because they also like punch down a lot. But it is a show that just starts to like eat itself after a while.
Well, I was gonna say it also feels like that feels very CW, that it would start to eat itself. But also like the CW is so weird because it's a network that knows very well what its audience is. Like they really fucking figure out who their audience is, and yet still get away with all of this stuff, even in like more modern stuff. So I'm curious to see
nobody
what they
stopped
do.
watching.
Yeah,
That's why. Like we like wrote, like not we, because I'm not a part of this, but I understand this. People wrote op-eds and blah, blah, blah. But then, we also kept watching.
The ratings were still
Stacey
there.
Abrams is out there, like, watching Supernatural.
Yeah.
It's
not blaming Stacey Abrams for this. I'm just saying she is, like, she watches it, too. Like, we all, like,
right, yeah.
we can talk about the show critically, but also we cannot stop watching. I mean,
wild.
I'm out here knowing all of the problems of it, and I'm like, I guess I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But, the pull of the Pileggi, like...
How can you say no to the Pileggi?
You can just
can't
say
say no to the
pull
pledge.
edge. It's fine. I'll get it.
Say no. It's his fault. I blame him.
Damn you, Mitch Pileggi, for
Damn
being
you,
so
Mitch
good.
Pileggi.
2 episodes today where Mitch Pileggi was covered in blood.
I mean, are you complaining? Because I'm not.
No. Did it sound like I was complaining?
Okay, good.
No.
That was a really good episode. I'm glad I watched it.
That's part of the reason I wanted to do this,
Don't
because I was
think
like,
I would watch more Supernatural.
I don't think it
Yeah.
would make me watch it more either.
no, it's not a good show. You shouldn't watch it. But I knew like this episode kind of hits a lot of boxes. Like we all love Mitch
Definitely.
Pileggi.
Right.
You like time travel shit, lots of Star Trek references, DeLorean references, and it is like, even though you do need a lot of lore, it is also a good standalone episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean about the angel and the chapstick, though, right?
Yes. Dean also doesn't have not unchapped. They're not unchapped.
But they're not as chapped as Castiel's.
I really think a huge part of this is that it was filmed at a time where people did not realize that it would be in HD eventually.
Yeah,
And
I think that's right.
Sure.
Like they're like, oh well, okay, you look fine on film. We'll look at this camera.
And they both
you
got
look-
big, beautiful lips, so
It is a cast of oddly full lips.
yeah.
It's a town full of DSLs.
It's just a family full of DSLs.
Your curse is also your reward.
Ridiculous. I'm so glad you guys agreed to do this, though. And
No, we're gonna continue to agree to do
work
this.
through Mitch Pileggi's career, even
Unofficial
if it's just
Channels.
watching Basic Instinct for one line.
Oh
I
my
want to watch that
god.
movie where he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And someday we'll get to Stargate. I gotta
Yeah,
get
but
through
I don't think-
Supernatural first.
Like I think we can bring this back, get through season 6, get through his season,
Get through the Pileggi.
and pick a good episode. Of
Oh yeah,
that,
I
and
will
we can
get through
bounce
season
back to
6,
that.
and I will say like I will pick the good stuff, or like be like, actually, all 8 of the episodes that he's in are good. Maybe watch it on your own time. We can come back. We'll see.
And then I'm sure there's gonna be like episodes of like Law and Order SVU that he did guests
Yeah,
on.
because he was like a
actually.
judge and shit.
Yeah,
he was
right.
he was a judge on The West Wing.
Oh. Okay.
Then we'll get to talk about The West Wing.
A show I've seen 0 episodes of
That is
ever.
shocking to me.
I know.
I think
I'm
at this
aware.
point in your life you would hate it, but 10 years
absolutely.
ago you would have been like drilling all over it.
Oh, I know. I just didn't have the time to watch it when I would have liked it, and now I'm on the other
Now
side.
the
where
world is trash, and
God.
it would make you very
now
sad.
I'm like a radical leftist. I'm like,
Speaking
this
of-
isn't how this works at all.
Speaking of going into something and like knowing its downfall and perils, and like
Real.
knowing full well who Aaron Sorkin really is now.
That's a
Yeah.
big
That'd
part of it too.
be
That
But we
pushes me
can
away.
watch the Mitch Pileggi episode.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
yes.
Mitch Pileggi heals us of all of our wounds with any television
Mitch
program.
Pileggi save us. Oh my God, what a,
Forever
it would
in
be
canon.
like a tragic day if it came out that he was a bad person. We'd have to have a whole like cleansing ceremony.
As though we've never had to do one of those.
I try my best to not get fooled by straight white men anymore, but you're right. That one would hurt.
destroy
That would
me.
suck.
That one would hurt.
Nobody ruin this fantasy, please.
Nobody meaning Mitch Pileggi, don't fucking ruin this
Right.
fantasy, please.
Also, come on our podcast.
Also, be my best friend.
Not NYD, not X-Trex.
Good
Come
Lord,
on
don't
this
go on
podcast.
NYG.
Come on this podcast.
Come on this secret podcast on our Patreon. Unofficial Channels featuring Mitch Pileggi.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Supernatural.
Yay, we did it.
Yay.
What is our closeout for Unofficial Channels? What is a good Skinner line?
How hard do you want to make this?
I like that one, but all I can think, you haven't seen this episode yet, is the one where he says to cigarette smoking man,
You can
you
kiss.
listen here, you son of a bitch. And then he says, you could kiss my ass, which I feel like is all Mitch Pileggi characters is you could kiss my ass.
That's a good one. Also, I'm in a bubble bath. It's really.
I'm calling you from a bubble bath.
I'm calling you from a bubble
That's
bath.
not a good closer, though. You can kiss my ass is a good closer. Isn't it like you could? Doesn't he have a? Isn't it a longer quote than that?
Yeah, I think so. Because he says to cigarette
look it up.
smoking man about, I don't remember what episode that is either. I know it's in the X-Files crack.
Just wrote Skinner kiss my ass quote.
Make sure
You
you
son of a bitch.
make sure you
This is where
search
you pucker up
words,
and
not
kiss
images.
my ass.
This is where you pucker up and kiss my
Oh,
ass.
that's a great sign off.
That's a
That's
great
definitely
sign-off.
the sign off.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks for listening to Unofficial Channels. Thank you for subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/NYD Productions. We use this money to make the show better and also our lives better. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
And this is the part, everyone, where you pucker up.
And kiss my ass.
Pileggi out!
Skinner mic drop.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.